Hi everyone. So in the last class, we have discussed why computer does not understand our natural language. For that, in natural languages, subject and object which are going to be changed according to the statements as we have seen the examples. So it is not possible to create the compilers or the translators for that many languages. So for those languages it is not possible to create the translators or compilers, so we cannot write the programs. We cannot write the programs in the natural languages. As well as we have discussed about how do you differentiate the abstract class with interface in a real time. So as we have discussed, in real time are in real time which are used interfaces which are used to define the contract between the business and business or modules. So I have given the example how does the modules look like. You can check in my previous classes as well. In abstract classes are used to define the contract, which also contains some default behaviors, right? And if you want to achieve the multiple inheritance, then what we have to use the interfaces, otherwise we can go for the abstract classes, right? And why the multiple inheritance is not possible with classes? Because of the ambiguity and calling the constructors or methods that we have to be seen now. So in today's class, as we have discussed, abstract class is used to define the contract, which also contains the default behavior. If you want to achieve the multiple inheritance, then must and should we have to be go with the interfaces, otherwise the abstract classes, right? Why I'm stressing for this abstract classes and the interfaces classes? Because our servlet technology depends on the multiple servlet classes interfaces. Again I'm asking this question, like multiple inheritance, why it is not possible. So let's discuss how does it work and what we have to be do with this. So let me just open it. Yes, so I have given this example in the last classes, and we all are saying that Java does not support the multiple inheritance. Why? Because of the code ambiguity, or do you think that really is it an ambiguity problem, or confusion between the ambiguity, or because of the methods? So let's take an simple example to understand this one. Okay, so ambiguity because of the constructor or because of the methods, right? So I would say that ambiguity because of the methods, no, it is not because of the methods. Ambiguity is not because of the methods. What in case, okay, let me just uh, write some small example to understand it better. So I'm taking as we will take this a simple example for the class A and the class B. So I'll just increase, so it would be better, I guess. Yeah. So class A and B. So we can understand it better. Class A, right? So in this, I'm defining a method M1, which is called the M1. So to make us clear and understandable, so I'll take this simple examples M1, right? So here what I have defined, and I have created the another class, which is nothing but the class B, right? So in this class B I am defining the another method void, let's say m2. Now what I am doing, I'm creating another class C. Okay, so extends, you can tell me whether it is possible or not. A comma B. So as we have discussed, in the abstract classes, if we are defining anything, by default class C extends or implements, let's say a comma b, as we have taken already. Okay, so I know, let's tell this compiler to compile it, and for us only we are writing, right? To compile it for us, um, just we have to be say whether the when I write extends class C extends a comma b, then do you find any problem? Class, do you find any problem? No, as you already aware of this, and I agree both the if it is contains m1 and m1. Okay, m1 and m1, then you are saying the ambiguity problem. But what about if I write here m2? Then why it is not allowing us? You got my question, right? So for which class you will create the objects inheritance generally, for which class we create the object superclass or subclass. We can call it as a parent class as well, and for the child classes, child class, base class, or derived class. So we can call any name. So for which class we create the object? For any class we can create the object, right? Yes. So what I am doing here, so I have extended something, and let's say class tester. Okay, now I'm creating the object for this one, just for the simple example. So here I need to be write the public static void main, right? Here I'm writing public static void main string. Okay, string and args. So I have already defined, and for class C, do we have any constructor for this class C? For this class C, we have any? There is a default constructor in class C, even though if we don't define, but there is a constructor in the class C, correct or not? So what is the first statement to the constructor? Super, whether you write or you don't write, but it is a default, already how to call the class constructor, superclass constructor, and how to call from one class to another constructor. How do you call? But not this and super, we cannot use it together. As I have given the example in the last time, when you are say like a simple, when you are defining, so you can first what you will, it is a by default, suppose here default constructor will be there. So we can suppose you can take the public vehicle string brand, this dot brand is equal to brand, as in the last example we have seen. So abstract method for getting the vehicle speed, so we are defining. Okay, and for concrete, how we are inheriting, right? Concrete class, we are inheriting, and we can create the another class to extend. See, I have this is class C. This class C extending the properties of A and B. So can I call this as a concrete class for my class C, for extending the properties of A and B, which is nothing but inheriting from A and B. Concrete class, concrete C class, inheriting the properties, inheriting from A and B. So here I can, here it would be a default constructor, and how this default, here we can use the this, and here we can use the super keyword, super, or you can give anything. So by default it is a constructor will get created. I hope you understood. So how to call from one constructor to another constructor, but so we cannot use it together. This and super we cannot use it together, right? So you can write this as a first statement, either this or super, but not both together. For which class I'm creating the constructor? I'm creating the another class. I'm creating, right, I'm creating the constructor for this C class. As I haven't created, but it is by default, it will be there. And just tell me, what do you mean by the var args? Here I have defined the public static void main. If I define like this, like dot dot dot, so will it be accepted? Yes. So we can define as just this is an example. I'm just asking. Um, so either we can define or we can give the like this a string arguments. Right, anything is fine. So for that we call it as a var args. So C class in constructor, like you're not writing, but it is there. How we will create the object? Here. Here you have to be create the object, right? C obj is equal to new C. For okay, so for this, like what is the first statement in the super means? It has to call which one? Like tell me which one, parent class constructor, or if it is m1 and m2. So problem is, if it is m1 and m2, then the problem is solved, right? No ambiguity. But here we can't solve this problem. Which class, a class or b class, we don't know, right? So that's the reason why we are getting an ambiguity problem. Right. I hope you understand. So why we get the ambiguity problem? If it is any other languages, then we can use the different. If it is a Python, we can say yes, it is possible because of Python. There is a method called the MRO, method resolution order. But in C++, there is a solution. But in Java, there is a no solution. Right. So tell me why inheritance is not possible in Java? Because ambiguity because of the methods. No, ambiguity is not because of the methods. So ambiguity, otherwise let me write here, it would be easier. So ambiguity is not because of the methods. Ambiguity is not. So ab- ambiguity is because of constructors, right? Okay, so ambiguity is because of the constructors. So this is the answer that we have to be like everybody knows now the answer because of the methods, and what is the correct answer because of the constructor. I hope you understand. Construction here, what I am saying, constructor should call because of the superclass, right? Constructor should call because of the superclass. I hope you got my point. So now. Tell me this one. I just want to get a like this is an why question, like why multiple inheritance is not possible in Java because of the ambiguity in calling the constructor. Do not say like it is because of the methods. You can say the constructor, ambiguity in calling the constructors. Cool. So you got it. Now today, what we have learned, we will just continue further. I just like a recap in the last two classes that whatever we have learned, right? So as we have already discussed, why don't we write the code in our natural languages, and why it is not possible creating the translator? Why? Because of the subject and objects are going to be interchanged according to the translator. So this many translators are possible to create. Always we have to be write the program in programming languages. Like learning programming is a simple, not only one language. If you know any language, almost 15 languages we can learn. Because what happens, if as you have already aware of the Java, then it would be possible, if like if you want to learn the, you might already know, but if you want to go with the Python, C++, Apex, or go any other languages, then everything variables and the data types is there, right? So it should be like a little bit similar type, right? So one person can write like this int a, right? And in other languages, in C or C++, in any other languages, they will int a int, right? So like this, or they will like a colon, what, a colon int, so like this, or they will var. So it is a different way of writing in the different languages. Right, same language, but writing things are they different. So you got it right. And if you know one language, then all other languages are the like left side colon or left side colon, right side colon, that's it. So we can able to learn the almost any 15 languages or more than that. So I hope there is a less than 15 or more than that, but don't think this languages or that languages. So if it is possible, it just like how we want to go, it's like our patience required, right? But rather than variables, operators, for loop, while loop, keywords, and exceptions are common in all the languages. We don't have to be worried. Only if we interested, then we can go for that. Yeah, but this is not that necessary. So why do we? So our question is, my question is, why do you go for the abstract class, and why do you go for the interface? As I have already given the examples for that, and I have already mentioned here why do we go with the abstract class and the interface class. Because you are a creator of the interface, and you are defining a contract. You are creating the abstract class, okay, and you are a contract definer. So you have to think whether I should go for the interface or I should go for the abstract class. You got it right. So why this interface is not possible in the classes? Because of the ambiguity in methods, or because of the ambiguity in constructors, as we have already discussed. You got it, I'm hoping. So we have discussed about the abstract class, interface, and multiple inheritance. I have given the real-time example as well in my previous class. You can also see that. So writing something in many times to get you the habituated, like you can practice it, as well as we are using these technologies. And secondly, I'm not going to be much in the detail because I have mentioned in the previous classes. So you can learn out of this, right? It would be a like great understanding for upcoming technologies in advanced Java, right? So now, as we have already discussed, so let's discuss why we have to be using SQL plus, and what is the SQL, what is SQL plus, and why we have to be use it. Why do we have to use it? Okay, so here, I have a doubt. You all typed the queries right at some point earlier, like select a star from EMP. It's like a famous query that we can already practice in W3 schools as well as in college days, uh, right? Because it's a command line, a client tool in Oracle, right? To talk about the database server, like a client for connecting to Oracle to database, then what client program is? SQL plus, right? So client program, which is uh, SQL plus. SQL plus. And so what do you mean by the client program? So client is nothing but the two types, right? GUI and CUI. So what is the CUI? Nothing but the character user interface. And here it have, I think I have already explained this. So let's see it. It is a client side programming. CUI is nothing but the what CUI, character user interface, and GUI is nothing but the graphical user interface. Okay, so you got it. Um, do you if you might already aware of this, like what is the workbench and MySQL, like you have an idea, right? MySQL, but don't worry. So I will explain you how to download the Oracle SQL Developer and SQL Workbench. So if anybody have, then you can try to open it, and if not, I will explain in this class only. So you have opened that in window and typed some queries, right? Or anybody know the SQL, what or MySQL or Workbench? You can open the window, or uh, you have practiced this type of program, like select a star from the employer or any other queries. So typing is that typing typing that is what the type client, which type of client it is, a graphical user. Right, it is nothing but the graphical user interface. So SQL plus is nothing but the, what is this one, CUI client. So Oracle SQL developer is CUI client or GUI client. So let me just write it here. So SQL plus SQL plus is CUI CUI client, CUI. And what is this, Oracle SQL developer, right? Oracle SQL developer is GUI client. So you have to be remember this one. It's talk with whom. It's a client is always talks with server, right? Who is the server? Here again, the server means the database server we have, and the web server. And also I have explained in the first class, like what is the web server and APIs, and the so that is detailing we have already seen. In advanced Java we are going to be learn the web server. Okay, there is a database server or the web server or the application server. Now, in advanced Java, we are going to be learn the web servers. I think you already heard this name, right? Tomcat, it's a server. It's all the server, Tomcat server, WebLogic, Glassfish, Jetty, Netty, etc. There are so many. So Tomcat, we are going to be learn in Servlet technology. I'll show you like how to download the Tomcat server and how we have to be connected. Everything, Oracle and MySQL. So these are the database servers. Which database server we will connect? It connects with which database server? So we have to be discuss, which is obviously connect the Oracle database server, right? Not MySQL database server. So what is the SQL plus? So tell me, it is a CUI client, right? So which connects with the Oracle database server. CUI client which connects with the which servers? CUI clients which connects, okay, which connects to the our Oracle database server. So try to understand what I'm saying here. What you will do in SQL plus, you are typing the SQL queries and pressing the enter. So what will happen? It will send this query to the database server, and database server will produce the response immediately, right? Or result, that result will be shown to you. Like what is the finally it will send you, it will finally send your query SQL, as well as we need to be form our statements, query database server and gets the result. So why I'm explaining all this, tomorrow you will get it out why I'm talking the JDBC technologies, same like SQL followed by these all these technologies. So we have to be understand before going to that technologies, like we have to be aware of like the Java code, and I'm writing these simple queries, select star from emp, and I'm getting the output. So you are writing 20 lines in the Java programming, suppose, to select the data from the employee table. So why should I write the 20 lines? One line is enough. Go there and type everyone, you will get this type of doubt, I'm sure, definitely, right? So here what we have to do, we have to be before moving that, we have to be get on the hands-on practice, correct or not. So before going this, we have to be get the clarification. So the reason why I'm explaining like what is the SQL, because you are typing the queries in the SQL plus only, right? So as of now, I'm thinking that it is clear. In the next session, first we will start with the basic SQL queries, not the big queries, like the simple for our understanding. So I'll explain. Let's have some basic queries. You know about the primary key and the foreign key, as well as it may be primary key, foreign key, and but primary key is enough for creating the table and inserting the records using the same kind of keywords, like where you already aware of this, right? Like there is a aggregate functionalities, operators, minimum, maximum, sum, average, as well as we do have where and group by, order by. So all these things are enough, enough to know it. I'm not expecting like a high end of SQL knowledge. Like we require the basic SQL knowledge is fine to understand it better, right? So it will be easy to write the code in our JDBC. And so first we have to be just practice and brush up our queries 1 hour. Then we will start over the first technology. What is our first technology? Which is nothing but the JDBC, right? In that I'll be explaining why are we connecting our Java. Why are we connecting our Java application? Java application connecting, okay, to the where we have to, why Java application connecting to the database. Okay, so we have to be understand this one first before moving to our technology, right? And what is the purpose of the, what is the purpose of the middleware, and what are the purpose of the drivers, and how do you write the code. So we will start writing some programs in the next. So we will decide like which database is convenient for you, so you can decide it. And already we have learned Oracle, MySQL, and I'll teach like whatever you feel easy, so I'll show you both, and which is comfortable. So we will see all those things. So now, tomorrow, from tomorrow onwards, we will start our first technology, what is the JDBC. And in this technology mostly you are going to be find the interfaces and abstract classes. The reason why I have created the separate classes, four classes, because to understand it better and what is the importance of this interface and the abstract. I explained in the first interface, right? So you have to be go through that, and it would be easy for us to practice the SQL queries and the simple queries. So we will go through that and check. So that's all for today. Thank you.